Happy Monday, everybody. I am so excited to be here. I have been wanting to bring this to you for about 2 hours now. I've been working on it and other things keep coming up. You know how real estate is, but today's video is all about the closing. We're going to finalize this last 5 month series on tips and training on how to be a real estate agent. We're going to wrap it up today. I'm so excited to wrap it up. The playlist will be built. They're down in the comments below. So do not forget to check out those playlists. And even though we're through with this first series for 2022 on how to be a real estate agent training and tips, it doesn't mean it's over by any means. You want to be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. If this is the first video that you're watching of mine and you're learning about the closing process, use it to your fullest. Use it to your fullest. That's what this video is all about. And then go back and watch the other videos from January to now about how to be a real estate agent. And it goes straight from getting customers, ads, Facebook ads, open houses, sphere of influence, staying in contact with your sphere of influence, etc., all the way through the closing process. So without further ado, let's get started on today's video. But before I do that, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, me. If you don't know, my name's Josh Barnett, 15-year real estate agent. I had an office. I was at a small mom and pop's office. I've built 2 duplexes. I've managed over 72 rental units, and I've constantly been blessed with training and helping agents take their business to the next level. So if you want to take your business to the next level, I'm at eXp Realty. I'd love to get with you and show you exactly how eXp Realty makes all that possible. With the systems and the processes that I have in tow, with everything that eXp Realty has to offer, you're set up for success. You're literally set up for success. But now that that's out of the way, let's get in today's video. Let me switch this over real quick. The closing process. Today's video is on the closing process. So 3 days before closing, you, as the real estate professional that you are, we're asking the title company, are the lender and you in balance? If they are in balance, then you should be getting a copy of the final settlement statement. If they're not in balance yet, you got to pick up that phone and you got to start making phone calls to the lender and to the title company, finding out, hey, who needs what to get balanced? Because with the Dodd-Frank Act, I believe way back in the day, there's got to be a closing disclosure signed. Now, a lot of lenders who know how to do their job and are on top of their game, remember Pareto's rule, 80-20 rule, 20% of all the lenders are on top of it. They would have signed a preliminary CD. They would have. But you still need them to balance, and you still need that final settlement statement so that you, as a real estate professional, can go over that with your customer, okay? And that's 3 days before closing. And then just like we discussed on the last video, either the night before or, preferably 1 hour before closing, you go do the final walkthrough. Before I get to that, as soon as you get done going over the final settlement statement, if you're working with the buyer, because this is a closing video for buyers and sellers, if you're working with the buyer, make sure they know who to make the cashier's check payable to and what amount that cashier's check needs to be. Text them that information and text them the location of the title company also. If you're doing your final walkthrough 1 hour before closing, most likely they'll just be following you from the final walkthrough to the closing, driving behind you in the car. But make sure that you text them who to make it payable to, which is typically the title company, and the amount, and then also the address to the title company. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, the final walkthrough. We went over that in detail on the last video. Go back, watch that if you have any questions on that. Number 4 is from the final walkthrough, they're just going to follow you to the closing company typically. If they've got to go get the cashier's check before they go to closing, schedule that final walkthrough accordingly. Take into account traffic, take into account where their bank is. If they don't have a local bank, they would have needed to wire that money to the title company before closing as the buyer. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5, when you get to the title company, wait for your customers at the door. Wait for them. You're a salesperson. You create the environment. You make everything smooth. That's why you make the big bucks, because you're a problem solver and you make everything smooth. If the customer doesn't feel like you were taking care of things, you were getting things done as a salesperson, you're not being the best salesperson you can. You're not. So step it up. So wait at that door for them, smiling, shirt, button-up shirt, tie. Don't wear t-shirt like Josh does when he's telling you how to do business. Go look up my stats. God's blessed me with business. I show up professional in front of consumers, and open that door for them. Open that door for them. Be excited. Smile big. They're getting ready to make a huge purchase. Treat that house like it's a brand new baby. Treat that house like a brand new baby, the whole process, and you're going to be setting yourself up for success as a real estate agent. Okay, now when you walk in, you introduce them. These are common courtesies that every person should know, but I'm telling you, if you do this, you're going to make the experience that much better. Introduce them, Mr. and Mrs. XYZ, to the front desk lady, okay? Get there early. Say, what's your name again? Ask her her name. Ask her her name. And then introduce them to the front desk lady. Say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, this is Jessica. Or Mr. and Mrs. Smith, this is Jesse. Introduce them. And then say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Jesse or Jessica are going to need a copy of your IDs. And they need that copy to make copies because the closer is going to need it to send everything to the bank. And they'll get out their IDs and they'll hand it to them. You're stepping everything through the process. You're showing them your professionalism as a real estate agent. You're showing them why you earn the big bucks. And folks, there's lots of people out there who want to have closings that aren't having closings. If you're at the closing, congratulations. You're doing your job. Pareto's law. 20% of the people do 80% of the business. You're doing a great job. Keep helping your customer get through the process. Once they give them the IDs, say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, would you like a bottle of water? Would you like a coffee? They have refreshments over here, and most title companies, most attorney offices have refreshment little countertops with the Kurgo coffee and the soda pop fridge and the chips and the pretzels and stuff like that. Offer them refreshments. Offer it to them. It's a common courtesy, folks. It's a common courtesy. People appreciate that. Customers appreciate that. They're getting ready to make a huge purchase. They may be on the inside just a little scared. If they don't do this typically, if they do it, every 5-10 years, they might be a little scared. Control that environment. Make that environment enjoyable. Get them the refreshments. They sit down, get the copies back from the front desk person, give them back their IDs back from the front desk person, give it back to them, and then sit down with them and engage. Don't get out your phone. Don't get out your phone. Don't start doing other business. Engage with your customers. Unless it's business related to that customer's closing, engage with them. They've earned your attention, okay? You're getting ready to get paid your commission, okay? Follow through the whole process. Be engaged with them. Talk about their plans with the new house. Talk about, is the moving truck coming right now? Don't ask them something you already know the answer to, but engage with them, just tell them how appreciative you were about the transaction. Remind them of a hurdle during the transaction that you guys worked through. Engage with them. And then while you're engaging with them, while you're talking with them about their future plans with their new house, the closer is going to come out and say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, if you're the buyer, they're going to come get the buyers first. If you're the seller, you'll continue engaging with the seller, and the buyer will go back there and sign. And in the closing for the buyer and for the seller, the buyer signs the loan docs and the title docs. Anything that was missing on the real estate side of things, you'll have copies. You'll get that signed. And then if you're working with the buyer will go out typically, and the seller will come in and they'll sign the seller docs. And you'll give the seller's agent a copy of any real estate docs that you need signed to finish out your file. And they'll vice versa do the same thing with you. But be engaging. Keep the process moving during the closing. It's not over until everything funds. And even then you're going to learn it's not over. So if you're the seller now, the buyer's already signed, the buyers have gone and sat down with their agent, and you as the seller, you walk into the closing. You're basically just going to be signing the deed and some title work stuff. Some things saying that, you know, everything's paid for on the house that you know of, you don't have any weird liens on the house, and you're giving the home and the property to the buyer. Okay. And then when you're done signing, you'll go back out, and then the closer will send everything over to the lender, and the lender will process everything, and they'll give you the clear to close, the final clear to close, or the funding number. And then the title company is going to cut checks, make copies of everything. They're going to come back out, give the checks to the sellers, give the checks to the agents, and give the buyers and the sellers and the agents copies of everything. And at that time, as an agent, with the buyer, you're going to ask for the keys. You're going to ask for the code to the garage door clicker, if there is one. You're going to make sure that seller releases the Ring account on their phones before they leave, to ensure that your buyer can go and set up that Ring account. You know, if the buyers aren't interested in maintaining their yard, they can ask the seller, "Hey, who was your yard guy?" If they had a yard guy. You know, things like that. You're gonna pass some pleasantries among the buyer and the seller. You know, if it was a good transaction, if the agents were doing their jobs, if the buyers and sellers were lined out throughout the transaction correctly, it's going to be a great, pleasant experience. It's going to be a great passing of the property. Okay. Once all those congratulations are done, once all those pleasantries are over, once you have the keys and clickers, once you have the Ring door released, once you have the garage door keypad combo, you'll walk your customer out, you'll congratulate them, you'll thank them for their business, and you'll remind them to call you if any questions come up along the way, and that you would love to earn any of their friends and family's business too, if any of their real estate needs arise. Okay? Congratulate them again, thank them for their business again, and then come back into the title company. Double check your packet. Call your transaction coordinator if you use one. I highly recommend you use one. Call your transaction coordinator or email her or text him or her and make sure they got everything they need. Don't leave that title company until they have everything they need. And if it was a referral, you better have an envelope to mail the final settlement statement and that check to whoever referred you that business, to that other agent's brokerage. That's part of your job. That's part of earning that check, is making sure the agent that referred you is paid also. Make sure that happens, and take pictures of their referral check, their settlement statement in the envelope. Take pictures of it, drive it to the post office, put it up to the post office thing, take a picture of it, send it to that agent. Let them know that you've made sure that they're getting paid too. That's part of being a salesperson. That's part of ensuring all parties are well taken care of. Okay? So you've made sure the referral agent, if there was one, has gotten their check. You made sure that your TC has copies of everything they need. You've already done all the other steps. The final step, make sure you log this closing in your KV core. You want to make sure that the closing is in the KV core, so that KV core will send out all the notifications that it's supposed to do to follow up with your customer and future customer. Because just because you're closed right now doesn't mean you're gone. You still check in with your customer. If they're moms, wish them happy Mother's Day. If they're fathers, wish them happy Father's Day. You know, on their anniversary date of the house anniversary date, text them, call them, and email them. You know, thank them for their business. Ask them how the house is going. Just because you're closed doesn't mean your job as a salesperson is over. You want to maintain that relationship, because if you're not, there might be another agent out there that is. All right, guys, Josh Barnett, eXp Realty. I really, really hope that you enjoyed today's video, which is the final video in the series of how to be a great real estate agent training and tips. First series of 2022. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And guys, I've been doing this a long time. I've got some great systems. My uplines, they have great, amazing systems too. If you're ready to make that move, if you've been wondering what all the fuss is about eXp Realty, we're here to help you succeed. eXp Realty isn't just a real estate brokerage. Like my upline partner Jesse always says, it's way beyond that. It's a way for real estate agents to retire. It's a way for real estate agents to be able to enjoy training and teaching as many people as possible, like I do and like so many other influencers do at eXp Realty. Guys, if you're ready to make that move, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'd love to chat with you about how to become a real estate agent at eXp Realty. And I'll see you on the next video. Oh, let me do my end of screen. Look, I got a new end of screen.